No question, the haters have been after President Barack Obama from day one. And those haters are not just hating on the president's policies, they are intent on destroying his character. In the book, The Obama Hate Machine, The Lies, Distortions, and Personal Attacks on the President and Who is Behind Them, Bill Press examines the insidious brand of character assassination unique in contemporary politics. Bill is the host of the syndicated Bill Press radio show, also heard on Sirius XM Radio. Bill, welcome to Washington Watch.
Roland, wonderful to be here. Thank you.
It has been interesting covering the president, and when you look at just the emails calling the First Lady a monkey, when you look at the things said about him, and of course I make a point on this show, how there's this refusal by political leaders and even many in the media to even call him President Obama. What is going on with here? Why is it so personal with him?
You know, first of all, I go back in history. I think he has had more, let me just back up, criticism of any president of the United States. That's what we're all about, right? When I go to the White House every day for the briefings and I see people out front protesting this or that, that's great.
Democrats and Republicans.
Exactly. But the attacks against President Obama have been more personal, more ugly, you know, more vicious, right, than I think any president since Abraham Lincoln, who during his lifetime was really reviled. He became a saint after he was assassinated. And I think part of it is that Obama is so good, so effective, and his policies are so popular that they feel they got to destroy him personally. And so they go after him personally. You know, as you point out, I mean, he's been called, I mean, Rush Limbaugh calls a jackass. You call the President of the United States a jackass? I mean, come on, right? He's been called a jerk. He's communist, fascist, Nazi, terrorist, anti-American, you name it.
Now, of course, I also remember, of course, when President Bush was in office, the battles with Senator Harry Reid, the names being called. Reid called him a liar, of course. The tete-a-tete between Vice President Dick Cheney and Senator Patrick Leahy. And so what would you say to critics who say, hey, Bill, hold up, it's not like President Bush was treated as a saint by his critics?
I still say, you go back, and look, I covered the White House then too. You go back and look at the criticisms of President Bush. He disagreed with going to the Iraq War, into Iraq War. Disagreed maybe with TARP or whatever. But it was not ugly and personal like it has been with President Obama. And by the way, overall, your point is good. That I think this political dialogue, which we're very much a part of, has gone downhill, the lowest point that maybe any of us have ever seen in our lifetime. It's in the Congress every day. It's in this presidential campaign. I mean, Rick Santorum saying that President Obama wants to march everybody to the guillotine? I mean, give me a break.
But what's very interesting to me is when you also don't have many kind words to say about Fox News. Of course, you know, I got a kick out of this week. You know, Bill O'Reilly calling me a moron when, you know, I mean, give me a break. You know, with a lot of the craziness that he said on the air.
Right.
And so, do you believe that is the leading voice, leading this charge to attack the president personally?
Totally. And let me give you the best example from this week. That Sean Hannity says, Frank Luntz was on the show, and he says, you know, well, at least people do give President Obama credit for getting Osama bin Laden. And Sean Hannity says, well, if he had anything to do with it, Osama bin Laden would still be alive. And he said, and I've got a tape to prove it. What tape? Remember they used to talk about the Whitey tape, the so-called Whitey? Never showed up, did it? They didn't have any tape. I mean, President Obama is the one who gave the orders.
Of course, we talked about that in our segment, The Biggest Damn Lie, where we break out these folks who are just lying each and every single week. And so you talked about radio, you talked about television, but how has the role the internet played in advancing the lies as well? I mean, do you find yourself going, I'm getting another crazy email on this?
All the time. I mean, as a talk show host, the emails that I get, I couldn't read them on the air. And they do pollute the you know, it's easier on the internet because there's really no editorial control, there's no quality control. So you can say anything on the internet. And that has really, I think, made the political invective even worse. But I do want to mention that the two guys that are behind it, that are putting up all the money for this hate machine, are the Koch brothers, Charles and David Koch. And I wanted to expose them in this book. They've operated under the radar, but they are everywhere. Just a week ago, they got their corporate cronies together, pledged $100 million to defeat President Obama this year. Charles and David Koch.
Not exactly. And what is the company they run? If somebody's
Coke.
like, okay, hearing Coke. But
right.
And
Coke,
it's K-O-C-H, not Coke, the actual drink.
Exactly.
Right.
Koch Industries, K-O-C-H, big oil, natural gas. They own Georgia Paper, probably the paper towels and the toilet paper and napkins and everything you use in your house and mine come from them. Dixie paper cups comes from them. Their combined wealth is $50 billion. We know about Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
Right.
They're number 1 and 2. These guys, Charles and David Koch, are number 3 and number 4. And they put more money into politics, all of it into right-wing politics, than anybody else in the country.
So when you hear hear the right complain about George Soros, these guys make him look like a peddler on the street corner.
Soros, chump change compared to these guys. $100 million just a week ago, all to defeat President Obama.
Well, Bill, you certainly break it down. We certainly appreciate it. And again, the book is called The Obama Hate Machine, The Lies, Distortion, and Personal Attacks on the President and Who is Behind Them by Bill Press. Bill, always a pleasure.
All right, great to see you, friend.
Thanks a bunch.
All right, thanks.